A millionaire pays a street artist to bear him a child. The news before birth shocks them. Dear viewers, before we begin, please tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Don't forget to rate the story from 1 to 10 at the end. Today, I will share with you the Golden Heart Stories family, the tale of an unexpected encounter between a young street musician and a billionaire businessman that will change their lives forever. Jade and Arthur's relationship begins as a business arrangement and evolves in unexpected ways. This story has moments that will make your heart race, emotional scenes that will bring tears to your eyes, and life's most beautiful surprises. If you believe that love knocks on our door in the most unexpected ways and that second chances can change our lives, then this story is perfect for you. Arthur Wilson looked out at the city from the 55th floor of his glass skyscraper in the heart of Los Angeles. It was midnight, yet he was still in his office. The documents on his desk contained details of a $50 million deal to be signed the next day. At 35, he was one of the most ruthless and successful players in the financial world. As the founder and CEO of Wilson Financial, he conducted billion-dollar transactions worldwide, from Wall Street to Japan, crushing his competitors one by one. He had a 15-room mansion in Beverly Hills, a Ferrari collection in his garage, secret accounts in Switzerland, and a private island in the Caribbean. He had everything. Yet tonight, despite all his wealth, he felt lonelier than ever. For a moment, these thoughts crossed his mind. An heir. Someone to continue my lineage. Arthur moved his hand toward the photo on his glass desk. It had been taken with Victoria exactly 3 years ago. Back then, he had believed in love and had made plans for the future. But then he caught her in the bedroom with his best friend, Marcus. That night, he harshly closed the last emotional door in his heart. Love? Marriage? They were all illusions. People were only after their own interests. As he left the office and rode the elevator, his mind went back to years ago. He was 15, Rebecca was only 10. On that terrible December night, it was snowing. It was the night they lost their parents in a tragic traffic accident, and their lives changed forever. Suddenly, Arthur found himself the sole protector of his 10-year-old sister. While waiting for hours in the hospital corridor that night, he learned the most important rule of life. He had to control everything. Because control meant security. He had to secure Rebecca's future, protect her, and keep her away from danger. This responsibility shaped his controlling personality. I protected Rebecca and built a great business empire. But how will my lineage continue? Who will inherit my legacy? These thoughts had been nagging at him lately. The next morning, he drove to his company via Benson Street, as usual. As he drove his dark gray Bentley, he thought about that day's meetings, the decisions he would make, and the deals he would close. While stopped at a red light, someone sitting in front of the corner coffee shop caught his attention. A young woman holding an old but well-maintained acoustic guitar was singing Hallelujah, her eyes closed. Her voice was crystal clear and filled the entire street. Only a few coins had been thrown into the open guitar case in front of her, but she sang with her whole soul, as if performing at Carnegie Hall. Arthur froze at the steering wheel. That voice. It penetrated him somehow. He didn't know why, but his heart began to race. The expression on the woman's face and the deep emotion in her voice. Horns started honking behind him, so he hit the gas, but he was completely confused. What's happening to me? Why did I stop? Nothing like this had ever happened before. 3 blocks later, he pulled the car over. That voice wouldn't leave his mind. The passion the woman showed for music and the light in her eyes kept spinning in his head. He didn't know why, but he made a U-turn and went back. The woman was still there. Arthur parked the car right across from her and rolled down the window. You. Yes, you. Come here. The young woman looked up in surprise. Her hazel eyes were tired yet determined. Her brown hair fell to her shoulders, slightly disheveled, but she had a natural beauty. Her clothes were worn and frayed, yet clean. There was a noble air about her, and she had a proud posture. Are you calling me? Arthur was struck by the politeness in the woman's voice. Despite living on the streets, she spoke with an educated accent. Yes, I'm calling you. Get in the car, we need to talk. The woman approached suspiciously, clutching her guitar tightly. I'm not the kind of woman you think I am. If that's what you're thinking, you're wrong. Arthur rolled his eyes in annoyance. You're talking nonsense. I have a job offer for you. Get in the car. A job offer? Hope flickered in the woman's eyes. What kind of job? First, get in the car and then we'll talk. The woman hesitated for a moment, looked around, and then slung her guitar over her shoulder. She slowly got into the car. She couldn't hide her amazement at the luxurious interior of the Bentley. What's your name? Arthur asked in a cold but curious manner. Jade Evans. Who are you, and why did you want to talk to me? Arthur Wilson. I'm the founder and CEO of Wilson Financial. Arthur glanced sideways at the woman. She was more beautiful up close, but signs of fatigue were evident. I want to make you an offer that will change your life. They went to a nearby luxury cafe. It was an elegant place next to the Beverly Hills Hotel. Jade looked around in amazement at the expensive decorations. Arthur chose an intimate table in the corner. Would you like coffee? He asked. Thank you, Jade replied shyly. After briefly conversing with the waiter, Arthur got straight to the point. Jade, I'm going to make you a big offer. But first, I want to get to know you. What do you do? How did you start singing on the streets? Jade lowered her eyes while stirring her coffee. I used to be a music teacher. I worked at Roosevelt High School. Used to? What happened? I was falsely accused, Jade said with a bitter smile. A student named Sarah Martinez. She accused me of being too close to an 18-year-old male student named Tyler. Of course, that wasn't true, but the principal believed her. A police investigation was opened and it made the news. Even though I was eventually acquitted, no school would hire me. My reputation was ruined. Arthur listened silently. So where's your family? Gone, Jade said. I lost them when I was a child. I'm alone. I see. Arthur thought for a few seconds. Now, let's get to the main point. Jade, I'm going to make you a big offer. I want you to carry my child. Jade almost spilled her coffee. What did you say? Please repeat that. I spoke very clearly. You'll get pregnant and give birth to my child. In return, you'll receive enough money to live comfortably for the rest of your life. Jade first started laughing, but fell silent when she saw how seriously Arthur was taking this. This isn't a joke, is it? Things like this only happen in movies. I never joke. I'm a businessman, Jade. I don't want emotional complications or family drama. I just want an heir. You're obviously in a difficult situation. But this is crazy. Why do you want such a thing? Arthur's face hardened. My reasons are my business. What matters is the offer. During your pregnancy, I'll take care of all your needs. You'll have the best doctors, hospitals, and care. You'll live a luxurious life. After the baby is born, I'll give you $2 million. You'll never worry about money again. Jade's heart beat rapidly. She remembered those days. Those happy days when she taught piano to her students in the music classroom at Roosevelt High School. She remembered the light in the children's eyes and their happiness when she taught them a new song. How hopeful she was back then. I dreamed of opening my own music school. I wanted to provide free music education to poor children. Then everything collapsed. There were Sarah's lies, the principal's blind belief in her, a police investigation, and newspaper headlines. Despite being acquitted in court, social ostracism had begun. Friends distanced themselves, and no one would hire her. 2 years on the street. She went hungry and shivered on cold winter nights while her hope slowly died. What about afterwards? Jade asked in a trembling voice. What will happen after the child is born? You won't have any rights over the child. This will be a legal agreement. I'm a businessman. I guarantee everything with contracts. My lawyers will arrange every detail. Jade's eyes filled with tears. She thought of the music school she had dreamed of opening. The Evans Music Academy sign, the classrooms where little children played the piano. I don't want a relationship, Arthur said harshly. I want a contract. No emotional attachment. No drama. Just business. We'll do this deal on a professional basis. I need time to think, Jade said, her voice trembling. Arthur looked at his watch. You have 24 hours. Call me tomorrow at this exact time. Make your decision, otherwise the offer is void. I don't give second chances. He left his card on the table and stood up. When Jade was left alone, a storm raged inside her. Jade spent the night on a bench in Pershing Park that night. The cold Los Angeles wind whipped her face. She counted the $3 in her bag over and over. She wouldn't be able to buy food the next day. If I take this money, I can start my own school, she thought. But giving birth to a child and then leaving them, is that right? Is it moral? Or is this my salvation? In the silence of the night, she thought about her past. She was happy when she was a music teacher. She remembered the sparkle in her students' eyes, every note she taught them, and their joy when they played a song correctly for the first time. She remembered her little student, Amy. Amy was 8 years old, and her eyes sparkled when she played the piano. "Teacher, I want to be like you when I grow up," Amy had said. But when the scandal broke, Amy's parents took her out of school. Everything was destroyed because of one liar's words. Maybe this is my second chance. When morning came, she had made her decision. Exactly 12 hours later, 24 hours after their conversation at the cafe, she called Arthur. "Mr. Wilson? This is Jade Evans. I'm listening. I accept the offer, but I have conditions too." Arthur's voice changed slightly. "What conditions?" "I want to see the child occasionally. Not as a mother, of course, but as one of your friends. I don't want to disappear from their life completely." Arthur was silent for a while. This was an unexpected condition. "Anything else?" "That's all. If you accept, we have a deal." "I accept. Meet me at my office tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll meet with my lawyers." The next day, a thick contract lay on Arthur's huge desk. Jade carefully read every clause. Through this agreement, Party A, Arthur Wilson, will cover all of Party B's, Jade Evans, living expenses, medical costs, and accommodation needs during the pregnancy. After the birth, Party B will be paid $2 million. In return, Party B will waive all maternal rights over the child, transferring custody completely to Party A. According to the agreement, Arthur continued, Party B may visit the child as a friend of Party A no more than 6 times per year. "Everything is written here," Arthur said. "Legally binding and definitive." Jade's hands were shaking as she held the pen. This signature would change the course of her life completely. "I'm asking one last time, are you ready?" Jade took a deep breath. She thought of her dream of owning a small music school. Maybe this was her chance to make it happen. "Yes," she said, signing the document. Fate was sealed. "Rebecca!" Arthur called out. An elegant woman in her 30s entered through the door. Her green eyes were warm, and her brown hair cascaded down her shoulders. She wore an expensive yet stylish dress. "This is Jade Evans. Settle her in at the mansion. Provide her with everything she needs." Rebecca gave Jade a warm smile. "Hello, Jade. I'm Rebecca Wilson, Arthur's sister and the company's operations manager. Don't worry. I'll take very good care of you." Arthur pulled a thick file out from his desk. "This is what you need to know about me and my company. I built Wilson Financial from scratch 10 years ago. Initially, I only had $50,000. Now, the company is worth $3 billion. "That's incredible," Jade said in amazement. "After our family died when I was 15, I had to take care of Rebecca. Since then, I've learned to control everything. Control means security. Success comes with discipline and planning." Jade noticed that deep pain and a burden of responsibility were hidden behind the coldness in Arthur's eyes. "Now let's go," Rebecca said. "Let me show you your new home." The mansion in Beverly Hills was breathtaking. As they passed through the electric iron gates, Jade saw the enormous gardens, ornamental fountains, immaculate landscaping, and the magnificent 3-story structure. With its neoclassical architecture, it resembled a palace. "Is this really your home?" Jade asked in disbelief. "It's Arthur's home, but you'll be living here too now," Rebecca said with a laugh. "Come, let me show you your room." She took Jade to the luxury suite on the 2nd floor. When she opened the door, Jade was taken aback. "This is your room," Rebecca said kindly. "It has a king-size bed, a walk-in closet, a marble bathroom, a jacuzzi, and a large terrace. The view is wonderful too. You can see one of the city's most beautiful spots." When Jade entered the room, she froze. Her room was bigger than an entire apartment. It had cream-colored satin sheets, a crystal chandelier, antique furniture, and a huge LCD TV. Everything was perfect. "This is too much," Jade whispered. "Relax, Jade. You're safe here now. We'll have dinner together tonight. I'll show you around the house. The staff will get to know you too." After Rebecca left, Jade sat on the edge of the bed. The sheets were so soft. Everything was so luxurious, but the emptiness and anxiety inside her remained. What have I done? I agreed to carry a child for money. Was this right? She watched the night lights of Los Angeles from the window. She was now part of another world, yet she still didn't feel like she belonged. Did this agreement save her from the streets, or did it put her in a golden cage? But the dream of attending music school was still in her mind. Maybe everything would turn out well. Maybe this was a new beginning for her. Dear viewers, what do you think about Jade's decision to give birth to a child for money and leave the child with a man she doesn't know? Or is it the most logical move for a woman in a difficult situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you do if you were in her position? When Jade Evans stepped through the massive doors of the Wilson mansion, it was as if she were entering another world. Rebecca gently took her by the arm and guided her to the marble-floored entrance hall. A crystal chandelier hung from the ceiling, scattering sunlight throughout the room. The double-sided stairs were decorated with antique ironwork. "There are 15 rooms in the house in total," Rebecca said with a smile. "But you'll only use the rooms you need. The main living room, library, music room, dining room, and, of course, your own suite." As Jade looked around, she tried to hide what was going through her mind. Is this real? I slept shivering in the park last night, and now I'm going to live in a palace? Music room? Jade asked curiously. Yes, Arthur loves music. There's a grand piano and a sound system. Maybe you'll be interested in it. Rebecca took her upstairs. Now, let me show you your room. When she opened the double doors at the end of the second-floor corridor, Jade's breath was taken away. The room was literally a suite. A king-size bed, furnished with light gray sheets and dozens of pillows, stood in the center of the room. Across from the bed was a 65-inch TV with a comfortable seating area next to it. Large windows overlooked the Los Angeles skyline. This is your bedroom. That's your sitting area, Rebecca said, showing the other part of the room. And this is your wardrobe. She opened a wide door to reveal several dresses hanging inside. Several dresses were already hanging inside. We'll go shopping tomorrow and buy clothes that are suitable for your pregnancy. Jade looked inside the wardrobe. The dresses were from expensive brands and still had their tags on. Who bought these? Arthur gave instructions. We guessed your size. But tomorrow, we'll do more detailed shopping. Finally, she showed her the bathroom. It was marble-covered with a jacuzzi tub, a separate shower cabin, and double sinks. This is your private bathroom. All the cosmetic and care products are ready. After Rebecca left, Jade was alone. She sat on the bed and looked around. Everything was perfect, yet she felt strangely empty. Did I make a mistake? In exchange for all this luxury, I'm going to give birth to a child and abandon it. Is this right? She went to the window and looked outside. The garden was incredible. There was a fountain pool, flower beds, and sunbathing areas. But she still felt trapped. This place is beautiful, but it's still business. As Arthur said, it's just a contract. I must be careful not to get emotionally attached. That evening at dinner, Rebecca and Jade sat alone at the table. Where's Arthur? Jade asked. On a business trip. There's a big deal in Hong Kong. He'll be back in 3 days. Rebecca lifted her wine glass, then put it back down. Oh, sorry. You can't drink anymore. Right, Jade said, taking her water glass. This situation isn't easy to get used to yet. Arthur might seem a bit cold, Rebecca said carefully. But he's actually good-hearted. He's just learned to protect himself. Protect himself? Why? Rebecca thought for a moment. He was hurt in the past. He has trouble trusting people. But you'll get to know him better in time. The next morning, Jade began to learn the routine of the mansion. At 7 a.m., the maid, Elena, served breakfast. Elena was fully Mexican and spoke English, though she hummed Spanish songs. "Good morning, Senora," Elena said with a smile. "Your breakfast is ready. You can just call me Jade," Jade replied kindly. "Okay, Miss Jade. Mr. Arthur arranged for a special doctor to come see you. Dr. Mitchell is a very good doctor. You have an appointment with him at 2 o'clock. Jade nodded. Reality had hit again. She was going to try to get pregnant now. The thought made her feel nauseous. I'm really going to do this. I'm going to carry a child and then give it to someone else. That afternoon, she went to Dr. Mitchell's clinic with Rebecca. Located in the most luxurious part of Beverly Hills, the clinic looked more like a private health center than a regular hospital. Dr. Mitchell was a kind, middle-aged woman. "Hello, Jade. I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell. I'll be accompanying you through the pregnancy process." "Hello, doctor. First, let's do a general examination, and then we'll discuss the process." During the examination, Jade felt strange. Although it was just a medical procedure, it was also very personal. "Everything looks normal," said Dr. Mitchell. "You're healthy. Now, let's talk about the IVF process." IVF. In vitro fertilization. We'll combine your eggs with Arthur's sperm in a laboratory, and once the embryo forms, we'll place it in your uterus. This method is more reliable. Jade nodded, but she was confused inside. It all felt very technical and cold to her. 3 days later, Arthur returned from Hong Kong. Jade saw him for the first time in the main hall. He wore a dark suit and looked elegant yet tired. "How did it go?" Rebecca asked. "Good. The deal was completed." Arthur looked at Jade. "How are you? How did your doctor's appointment go?" "Good," Jade replied briefly. Dr. Mitchell explained everything. "Great. We'll start the procedure next week." Arthur's cold demeanor bothered Jade. He was talking as if he were discussing a business meeting. Of course, this is just business to him. I should be aware of that, too. The next morning, Jade discovered the library. Its walls were covered with books, and there was a reading desk and leather chairs in the center of the room. She picked up a book about the history of music and began reading. "Interesting choice," said a voice behind her. Jade turned around. Arthur stood in the doorway, holding a coffee cup. "I love music history," Jade said. "I enjoy music too. Do you play the piano?" "Yes, I used to teach." Arthur entered the room and sat in the chair across from her. Rebecca mentioned the music room. "You can use it if you'd like." "Thank you." There was an awkward silence between them. Arthur seemed to be studying her. "This situation must be difficult for you," he finally said. "Which situation?" "Coming here and changing your life. It's not easy to adjust to." Jade was surprised. She hadn't expected Arthur to show empathy. "It really isn't something you get used to," she said. "But this place is beautiful." "Good. It's important that you feel comfortable." Then, he got up and left. Jade watched him go. There was something strange about Arthur. Sometimes he was cold. Other times, he was unexpectedly considerate. That evening, Arthur joined them for dinner. They ate in silence. "We'll go shopping tomorrow," Rebecca said. "We need to buy maternity clothes." "I'm not pregnant yet," Jade said. "So we'll be ready when you are," Arthur said. "I plan everything." Jade looked at him. "Do you plan everything?" "Yes, because lack of planning means failure." "What about being spontaneous? Being open to life?" Arthur frowned. "Spontaneity means a lack of control. When there's no control, people get hurt." "Who got hurt?" Jade asked boldly. Arthur shot her a sharp look. "That's not up for discussion." Rebecca intervened. "Jade's right, Arthur. Sometimes unplanned things can be beautiful." "Are you supporting her too?" Arthur asked his sister. "I'm just saying, a little flexibility wouldn't hurt." Arthur stood up. "I'll be in my office." Jade watched him leave. Why is this man like this? What is he trying so hard to control? In the following days, Jade tried to adjust to the routine of the mansion. She played the piano in the music room in the mornings, took walks in the garden in the afternoons, and read books in the evenings. Arthur was usually in his office or at the company. They rarely encountered each other. A week later, the IVF procedure began. Jade received hormone treatment at Dr. Mitchell's clinic and gave herself daily injections. Each day, she was getting closer to her goal. I'm really trying to get pregnant, to carry someone else's child. Arthur was present at the clinic on the day of the procedure. Jade was surprised. You didn't have to come, she said. This is my responsibility, Arthur replied coldly. The procedure took half an hour. Afterward, Jade waited in the recovery room. Now we'll wait 10 days, said Dr. Mitchell. Then we'll do a test. Those 10 days felt endless to Jade. She constantly thought about her stomach, wondering if the embryo had implanted. Did she want it to take? Should I want it to? This is so complicated. A week later, the test results came in, positive. She was pregnant. When Dr. Mitchell delivered the news, Jade had mixed emotions. She was happy but also scared. Congratulations, Dr. Mitchell said. Everything looks normal. Arthur simply nodded when he received the news. Good. Thank you, doctor. Jade was surprised by his reaction. He hadn't shown any emotion. There was silence in the car on the way home. Aren't you happy? Jade asked. This is going according to plan, Arthur replied. Happiness doesn't play a role here. Jade tried to understand him. This is your child. Aren't you excited at all? Arthur didn't answer for a while. Excitement leads to disappointment. I prefer to be realistic. This man has really shut off his emotions. Why? The first months of pregnancy were difficult. Jade suffered from morning sickness and was always tired. Elena prepared special meals for her, and Rebecca was constantly by her side. Arthur, however, remained distant. He only saw Jade during weekly doctor appointments. Each time he asked, "How are you?" But it didn't seem like he was genuinely interested. One night in the second month of her pregnancy, Jade was playing the piano in the living room. She was playing Chopin's Nocturne, lost in the music. She didn't notice Arthur standing at the door, listening to her. When the piece ended, Arthur applauded. You play beautifully, he said. Jade turned around. Thank you. I love Chopin. Me too. Especially this piece. Arthur walked over to the piano. Did you teach this piece to your students? Yes, children learn music quickly. I loved teaching them. Why did you quit? Arthur asked softly. Jade's face fell. I didn't quit. I was forced to quit. Because of that slander incident. Yes, it ruined my life. But maybe I can take this money and open my own school. Arthur looked at her. For the first time, he saw real hope in her eyes. That's a wonderful goal, Arthur said. Do you support it? If it will make you happy, then yes. Jade was surprised by this unexpected support. Arthur had shown a different side. The next day, he left a package in her room. Inside were new pillows, special, supportive pregnancy pillows. What are these for? Jade asked Rebecca. Arthur saw that there are special pillows for pregnant women. He had them bought so you'd be comfortable. Jade was surprised. Arthur had never shown such thoughtful consideration before. A week later, she found new equipment in the music room, a digital piano, headphones, and a music stand. Arthur's idea, Rebecca said. So if you play at night, you won't disturb anyone. Jade was touched. Arthur's gestures surprised her. Why was he doing these things? Wasn't this just business? Could Arthur be changing too? What did these emotional gestures mean? An important moment came at the 10th week of pregnancy. They would hear the baby's heartbeat for the first time. Arthur came to the doctor's appointment that day. Jade wasn't expecting this. You didn't have to come, she said. This is an important moment, Arthur replied. I should be here. Dr. Mitchell prepared the ultrasound device. Now you'll hear your baby's heartbeat. When he placed it on Jade's belly, a fast, rhythmic sound filled the room. Here it is, said Dr. Mitchell. Your baby's heart. Jade's eyes filled with tears. That sound. So small, yet so powerful. There was a life growing inside her. She looked at Arthur. His face had changed too. His eyes were wide with amazement. Is this real? Arthur whispered. Yes, Dr. Mitchell replied. This is your child. Jade started crying. The emotions were too intense. This baby was real and alive. Arthur first clenched, then relaxed his fist. The coldness in his eyes disappeared for a moment. Thank you, he said to Dr. Mitchell. Then he turned to Jade. Thank you, he said in a softer voice. On the way home, they were both silent in the car. But this time, it was a different kind of silence. They were both thinking about the heartbeat. That was impressive, Jade finally said. Yes, Arthur replied. I've never heard anything like that. You're going to be a father for the first time. Arthur gripped the steering wheel. Yes, it felt unexpected. Jade glanced at him sideways. Arthur was changing. That heartbeat had affected him. Maybe Arthur isn't unemotional after all. Maybe he's just trying to protect himself. That evening at dinner, Arthur was more intimate. According to the doctor, everything is progressing normally, he said. Yes, the baby is healthy. Good. Are you being taken care of well? Do you need anything? No, Rebecca takes very good care of me. Elena is wonderful too. Good. Arthur paused. This process must be difficult for you. The changes happening to your body. Jade was surprised. Arthur was speaking personally for the first time. It really isn't something you get used to, she said. But there's also a beautiful side to it. A life is growing inside me. Arthur looked at her. Is this meaningful to you? Of course. This is a miracle. Isn't it meaningful to you? Arthur didn't answer for a while. I try not to think about it too much. Why? Because emotions complicate things. This is just an agreement. Jade gathered her courage and asked, Do you really think that? When you heard the heartbeat this morning, your face changed. Arthur's face tensed. You're imagining things. No, I'm not. You felt it too, but you don't want to admit it. Arthur stood up. This conversation ends here. Arthur. Good night, Jade. After Arthur left, Jade fell into thought. That man was very complicated. He was cold and controlled on one hand, yet he made considerate gestures and was unable to hide his emotions when he heard that heartbeat. What had he experienced to make him shut himself off like this? If Rebecca is right, then he was hurt in the past. But what happened? Dear viewers who have made it to this part of the story, write hamburger in the comments. Let's see how many of us there are. In our next story, we'll tell the story of a millionaire who confronts his former lover, whom he abandoned years ago because of his wealth, with shocking truth. Don't miss it. Enjoy watching. In the following days, Arthur was distant again. But his small gestures continued. He ordered teas that Jade liked and had a special bench installed in the garden for pregnant women. Jade noticed these things, but Arthur never openly mentioned any of them. It was as if he didn't want to be caught. This man is really fighting with himself. He wants to get close, but he's also afraid. In her 12th week of pregnancy, Jade had a dream one night. She was holding a baby and the baby was smiling at her. Suddenly, someone took the baby from her arms. She woke up in fear. This baby will be with me for months. Would it be possible for me not to bond with it? How will I be able to leave it after it's born? These thoughts made her anxious. As the pregnancy progressed, her emotional bond with the baby would strengthen. Did Arthur know this too? What if Arthur becomes attached to the baby too? What if he becomes attached to the baby too? Then it wouldn't just be business. But that was a very risky thought. She couldn't trust Arthur's emotions. This was just an agreement, nothing more. One evening at the end of the 3rd month of pregnancy, Jade was sitting in the garden. Arthur came over. How are you feeling? He asked. Fine. The morning sickness has decreased. Good. Arthur sat down too. Jade, I want to ask you something. Yes. Are you happy with this situation? Being pregnant? Jade was surprised. Why did you ask? I'm just curious. This is your body and your experience. It's complicated, Jade said honestly. On one hand, it's miraculous. On the other hand, this baby isn't mine. I'll leave after it's born. Arthur remained silent. Do you ever think about it? Jade asked. Will it be easy for you when I leave this baby? It's part of the agreement. But now it's a real baby. We heard the heartbeat. This isn't abstract anymore. Arthur stood up. Good night, Jade. He had run away again. But Jade realized that Arthur was struggling too. This situation was anything but simple. We're both changing. Arthur, me too. This baby is changing all of us. At 16 weeks pregnant, it was time for a routine checkup at Dr. Mitchell's clinic. Jade was used to these visits by now, but she still got excited each time. Seeing her baby and hearing the heartbeat reminded her that she was really going to be a mother. These moments reminded her that she was really going to be a mother. Arthur had also started coming to the last few appointments. Initially, he only attended important checkups, but now he participated more frequently. This morning, he was with her again, but, as always, he was silent and controlled. Today, we'll perform a more detailed ultrasound, Dr. Mitchell said with a smile. We'll be able to see the baby's development better. Jade lay down on the examination table. There was now a noticeable bump on her belly. She felt like she truly looked pregnant for the first time. Dr. Mitchell prepared the ultrasound device and applied gel to her belly. Let's see what we'll see today. Blurry images began to appear on the monitor. Dr. Mitchell slowly moved the device, examining it from different angles. The doctor said, frowning. Interesting. Jade's heart raced. Is there a problem? No, there's no problem, Dr. Mitchell replied, but his voice sounded strange. Just wait. He moved the device to another position and examined the screen more carefully. Then, he slowly began to smile. Jade, Arthur, Dr. Mitchell said, turning around. I have good news for you. What news? Jade asked anxiously. You're having twins. Silence fell over the room. Jade's mouth fell open and Arthur froze. What did you say? Jade stammered. Twins, Dr. Mitchell said excitedly. Look here. He pointed to the monitor. Here's one baby and here's the other. We can hear two separate heartbeats. Two different shapes were indeed visible on the monitor. The heartbeats coming from the device were also more intense. Jade's eyes filled with tears. Twins? Really? Yes, really. They both look very healthy. Arthur didn't say anything. He kept looking back and forth between the monitor and Jade. Amazement, fear, and something else, maybe happiness, was written all over his face. How does this happen? Arthur finally asked. A single embryo was transferred during IVF. Sometimes the embryo spontaneously splits in two, Dr. Mitchell explained. This results in identical twins. It's rare, but it happens. Jade put her hand on her belly. There are two babies inside me. Yes, the doctor said. This pregnancy should be monitored more carefully, but there's nothing to worry about. Arthur's voice trembled as he spoke. Are they both healthy? Everything is perfect so far. Both are growing normally. Jade looked at Arthur. There was an expression on his face she'd never seen before. Amazement and worry, but also admiration? Incredible, Arthur whispered. 2 children. On the way home, they were both silent in the car. This silence was different. They were both experiencing the shock of the news. Twins, Jade finally said. I never thought of that. Me neither, Arthur replied. This changes everything. How does it change things? Arthur gripped the steering wheel. Having 2 children means having twice the responsibility, twice the care, twice the attention. Jade glanced at him sideways. Was there fear or excitement in Arthur's voice? Are you scared? Jade asked boldly. Arthur didn't answer for a while. I plan everything, Jade. I calculate every detail. But I couldn't calculate this. Can everything be calculated? It has been until now. What about now? Arthur looked at her. Now? I don't know. When they arrived home, Rebecca greeted them. When she saw the expressions on their faces, she became worried. Is there a problem? Is the baby okay? The babies are fine, Jade said, smiling. Babies. We're having twins, Arthur said, still in shock. Rebecca's mouth fell open. Twins? Really? Yes, Jade said. 2 healthy babies. Rebecca screamed and hugged Jade. This is wonderful. Incredible news! Arthur was watching them. He saw Rebecca's joy and Jade's happiness. He realized that this situation was truly special. There was great excitement at dinner that evening. Rebecca kept talking about the twins and making plans. The nursery needs to be redesigned for twin cribs, she said. 2 cribs, 2 closets, 2 play areas. Slow down, Rebecca, Arthur said, his voice softer than usual. There's still time. But we need to prepare now. Twins can be born early. Jade was watching Arthur. He had been different since that day. He seemed more thoughtful and curious. What do you think, Arthur? Jade asked. Arthur looked at her. Having 2 children is a big responsibility. But you're ready for this, Rebecca said. You'll be the best father. Arthur's face tensed. I don't know how to be a father. Nobody knows at first, Jade said gently. It's something you learn. What if I can't learn? This question surprised everyone. Arthur looked weak and fragile for the first time. You'll learn, Rebecca said decisively. Because you're Arthur Wilson. There's nothing you can't succeed at. The twins' news changed everything. Do you think Arthur's change is real or temporary? What will happen as the pregnancy progresses? Which character's development are you most curious about? Let us know in the comments right now. In the following days, noticeable changes began to occur in Arthur. The first change was seen in his behavior toward Jade. He was showing her more care. He sat next to her at breakfast. How are you feeling? Good, Jade replied. A little tired, but otherwise normal. Fatigue is worse with twins. You should rest more. You don't need to worry. I'm not worried, Arthur said quickly. I just want to be careful. There was also a change in doctor appointments. Arthur now came to every appointment and asked many more questions. Are there risks with twins? He asked Dr. Mitchell. There are minimal risks, but we're monitoring them. What risks? Premature birth and low birth weight. But everything is normal so far. Arthur was taking note. Jade noticed this. Are you taking notes? She asked in amazement. I want to keep track of everything, he said. You have to be more careful with twins. One day, while driving Jade to a doctor's appointment, Arthur opened the car door for her. This small gesture surprised Jade. Thank you, she said. You're welcome. You need to be careful. Arthur remained quiet, but Jade could sense his thoughtfulness. Is something wrong? She asked. Arthur was looking at the steering wheel. I'm thinking about the twins. What are you thinking? They'll have 2 different personalities, 2 different souls. How do you be a father to 2 children at the same time? Jade understood his concern. Maybe you'll form separate bonds with each of them. What if I can't? You will, Jade said confidently. Because they're your children. Arthur looked at her. How can you be so sure? Because they're growing inside me. I can feel their strength. After this conversation, Arthur began showing even more interest. He ordered pregnancy books for Jade and researched twins. One evening, while Jade was sitting in the library, Arthur approached her. He had a book in his hand. This is about twins, he said, holding out the book. You might find it interesting. Jade looked at the book. Twin Development and Parent Guide was written on the cover. Did you buy this? Yes, I wanted to be informed. Jade smiled. Thank you. You're very thoughtful. Arthur stood for a while. Jade, I want to tell you something. Yes. This news about the twins. It affected me a lot. I never expected it. How did it affect you? Arthur clasped his hands together as he sat down. I control everything. I plan every detail. But this is something that can't be planned. Yes, and it scares me. What? Arthur looked at her. It excites me. For the first time, I'm excited about something so unexpected. Jade was greatly surprised by this confession. Arthur was afraid of revealing his emotions and tried to keep everything under control. This is a good thing, Jade said. It's good to feel excitement. Do you always feel excited? About these children? Yes. I feel them growing a little more every day. Arthur's eyes sparkled with interest. What kind of feeling is this? It's hard to describe. It's like little miracles are happening inside me. I want to feel it too, Arthur said in a low voice. These words made Jade's heart race. Arthur was changing, softening. You can feel it, Jade said. It will become clearer as time passes. After that night, Arthur became even more open. One evening at dinner, while they were talking, I grew up very lonely, he said unexpectedly. Lonely? Jade asked. Rebecca was there. Yes, but I was her big brother. I was responsible for protecting her. There was no one to protect me. Rebecca looked at her brother sadly. Arthur. Don't misunderstand, Arthur said quickly. Protecting Rebecca is my greatest pride. But it's very tiring sometimes. Are you scared now, too? Jade asked. About protecting 2 children? Yes, Arthur confessed. What if I fail? What if I can't be a good father to them? You will, Jade said decisively. Because you're already thinking about it. You care. Arthur looked at her for a long time. Do you care, too? About these babies? Jade's heart tightened. She wasn't expecting this question. This is complicated. How is it complicated? I'm trying not to get attached to them, but, it gets harder every day. Arthur listened to her quietly. They're growing inside me, Jade continued. They move. They live. How can I not get attached? Maybe it's normal for you to get attached, Arthur said gently. Jade was surprised by these words. What do you mean? Maybe this isn't just business. Maybe it's more. This conversation made them both think. While Arthur questioned the boundaries of the agreement, Jade faced her emotions. At the 20-week mark, major changes began. Rebecca started redesigning the nursery for the twins. We need 2 cribs, Rebecca said, doing the math. 2 closets. 2 toy boxes. This is a very big project, Jade said. Arthur gave instructions. Everything will be the best. Jade was surprised. Arthur gave instructions? Yes, he planned every detail himself. The colors, the furniture, and which piece would go in which corner. This showed Jade how much Arthur had changed. Now, he was actively making plans for their future children. A week later, Arthur invited Jade to see the nursery. Would you like to see it? He asked. When they entered the room, Jade was taken aback. The room had been completely transformed. 2 white cribs stood side by side with a small table between them. Cute animal pictures adorned the walls, and a rotating mobile hung from the ceiling. This is wonderful, Jade said. It turned out so beautifully. Do you like it? Very much. The twins will love this place. Arthur went to the cribs. The one on the left is for the boy and the one on the right is for the girl. How do you know which is which? Arthur smiled. I don't know. But I wanted to be ready. Jade looked at him. Arthur had really changed. Now, he was preparing for the children and imagining what they would be like. Arthur, Jade said, what do you feel when you see this room? Arthur touched the cribs. I feel like it's real. I'm going to have 2 children. Do you feel fear? Yes, but I'm also excited. This confession was very important. Arthur was acknowledging his emotions. I feel the same way, Jade said. Really? Yes, I'm happy for these babies, but at the same time... At the same time? How will I leave them? The question hung in the air. Arthur didn't answer, but Jade felt that he was thinking the same thing. At 22 weeks pregnant, Jade felt the babies move clearly for the first time. At dinner, she suddenly put her hand on her belly. What happened? Rebecca asked. They're moving, Jade said, smiling. Both of them. Arthur's eyes lit up. Really? Yes, I felt it so clearly for the first time. Arthur hesitated, then asked, Can I feel it too? Jade was surprised. Arthur had never made such a request before. Of course, Jade replied. Arthur slowly placed his hand on her belly. After a few seconds, his eyes widened. I felt it, he said breathlessly. They're really moving. There's one more active on the left side, Jade said. I think that's the boy. Arthur smiled. An active child, huh? Yes, the girl is calmer. Arthur kept his hand on her belly. Incredible. There are 2 lives inside you. This moment was special for both of them. For the first time, Arthur was making physical contact with his child. What kind of feeling is it? Jade asked. Miraculous, Arthur replied. I've never experienced anything like this. After that night, Arthur grew even closer to them. Every evening, he came to Jade's side, eager to feel the children moving. How are they today? He would ask. The boy is very active, Jade would say. The girl is less so. So their personalities are already showing. It seems so. One evening, Arthur asked an unexpected question. Jade, you were a music teacher. Will you teach the children music? The twins. Yes, when they grow up. Jade's heart tightened. Arthur was making future plans, and they included Jade, too. I don't know. According to the agreement, I can only see them occasionally. Arthur's face changed. He had remembered the agreement. Right, he said quietly. There's an agreement. But Jade could sense that Arthur was uncomfortable with it. A major turning point occurred at the 24th week of pregnancy. Arthur canceled his business trip. Why did you cancel? Rebecca asked. I want to be with Jade, he said. It's riskier with twins. This decision surprised everyone. Arthur never canceled business trip. It's really not necessary, Jade said. I'm fine. I know, but I still want to be with you. These words deeply affected Jade. Arthur really cared about her. That week, the two of them spent a lot of time together. Arthur told Jade about the company, and she told him about music. Have you ever played the piano? Jade asked. I learned a little as a child, but I quit. Why did you quit? After my parents died, taking care of Rebecca became more important. You could start again now. Arthur thought about it. Maybe we'll learn together with the children. Jade was happy to hear this. Arthur was planning for the future, and these plans included family activities. At 26 weeks pregnant, Jade experienced a significant change. One night, Jade felt strong pains in her abdomen. Arthur! She screamed late at night. Arthur came running. What happened? My stomach hurts so much. Something's wrong. Arthur wasn't panicking, but he was very worried. They went to the hospital by car immediately. Once there, Dr. Mitchell examined her. Braxton Hicks contractions, the doctor said. False contractions. They're normal, but can be very strong. Are the babies okay? Arthur asked anxiously. Both are doing very well. Nothing to worry about. On the way home, Arthur was very quiet. You were scared, Jade said. Yes, Arthur admitted. I was scared too. Why? Arthur looked at her. Fear of losing you and the children. These words stopped Jade's heart. Arthur cared not just about the children, but about her too. Me? She asked in surprise. Yes, you too. You've become part of this family. These words changed everything. Arthur no longer saw Jade as just someone who carried children. He saw her as a family member. After that night, their dynamic completely changed. They were no longer just business partners. They were starting to become a family. Jade felt this too. With each passing day, she became more attached to Arthur and cared about him more. As for the children, she didn't know how she could leave them now. I can't leave these children. They're my children too. I can't leave Arthur either. He changed, and so did I. But the agreement was still there. After the birth, Jade would leave. The thought scared both of them, but neither had the courage to voice their concerns. In the 28th week of her pregnancy, Jade gathered her courage and asked, Arthur, what will happen after the baby is born? Arthur froze. What do you mean? Is the agreement still valid? Arthur didn't answer for a long time. I don't know, he finally replied. Nothing is the same anymore. For me either. What do you want? Arthur asked. What do you want? Jade replied. They both knew the answer, but they were afraid to say it. Because once they said it, everything would change. The agreement would collapse, and their real emotions would emerge. But they weren't ready for that yet. They needed more time. As the twins continued to grow, the bond between Arthur and Jade strengthened. They were now very close to becoming a family. But the hardest part was still to come: birth and what came after. In the 37th week of her pregnancy, Jade woke up in sudden pain. It was 3 a.m, and Los Angeles was quietly embracing the night. At first, she thought it was one of the normal discomforts of pregnancy, but the pain intensified. Ah, she moaned, putting her hand to her stomach. A few minutes later, the pain came again. This time, it was stronger, taking her breath away. Her heart began to race. Could this be real? Isn't it still early? But Dr. Mitchell had warned them. Twins usually come early. The 37th week was considered normal. When the pain came for the third time, Jade knew for sure. This was labor pain. "Rebecca!" she shouted down the hallway. "Rebecca!" A few minutes later, a sleepy and disheveled Rebecca appeared at the door. "What happened, Jade? Are you okay?" I think labor has started," Jade said, sweating. Rebecca's sleepiness suddenly disappeared. "What? Really? Are you sure?" "Yes, the contractions are very strong and regular." Okay, Rebecca said, starting to panic. "Let me wake Arthur. Get your hospital bag ready." Rebecca ran to Arthur's room. She knocked on the door quickly. "Arthur, wake up. Jade is giving birth." Arthur immediately opened the door. His hair was messy, but his eyes were alert. "What did you say?" "Jade's contractions have started. We need to get her to the hospital." Arthur's face changed immediately. The confusion from sleep gave way to controlled panic. "Okay, I'll call James and have him prepare the car. You look after Jade." Arthur quickly reached for his phone and called his private driver. "James, it's an emergency. We need to go to the hospital. Have the car ready in 5 minutes." When Rebecca returned to Jade, she found her sitting on the edge of the bed doing deep breathing exercises. "How are you? How often are the pains coming?" "Every 3 to 4 minutes, Jade replied in a shaky voice. "It hurts so much, Rebecca." "Okay, everything will be fine. We're calling Dr. Mitchell, too. Just try to stay calm." Arthur entered the room fully dressed, holding a small bag. "The car is waiting," he said. "Can we go?" "Yes," Jade said, getting up with Rebecca's help. Arthur came over and extended his arm to Jade. "Hold on to me." On the way to the hospital, Arthur kept looking at Jade to check her condition. "Are the pains getting stronger?" he asked. "Yes," Jade replied, out of breath. "Arthur, I'm scared." Arthur's voice softened. "Don't be afraid. I'm here. Everything will be fine." Jade was surprised by these words. Arthur had never spoken so tenderly before. "What if something goes wrong?" "It won't," Arthur said decisively. "Dr. Mitchell is the best doctor. His team is great. You and the babies are safe." When they arrived at Cedars-Sinai Hospital, a team was waiting for them because Arthur had called ahead. Jade was put in a wheelchair and taken immediately to the maternity unit. Dr. Mitchell arrived shortly after and examined her. "Great, Jade," the doctor said. "The twins are ready to come. You're dilated 6 centimeters. How long will it take?" Arthur asked anxiously. "With twins, the process can vary. But everything is going normally." When they took Jade to the delivery room, Arthur followed. "Sir, you can wait outside," one of the nurses said. "No," Arthur replied decisively. "I'm staying with her." The nurse looked at Dr. Mitchell, who nodded. "Okay, but you need to follow our instructions." When the birthing process began, Jade was in a lot of pain. Arthur stood beside her and held her hand. "You can do this," he whispered. "You're strong." "Arthur," Jade said, contracting in pain. "I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." Hours passed. As Jade's pain intensified, Arthur never left her side. He wiped the sweat from her forehead, squeezed her hand, and said encouraging words. "This man has really changed," Rebecca thought, watching them. "He's completely different now." In the early morning hours, when Dr. Mitchell said, "It's time to push," everyone in the room sprang into action. "Jade, you'll push with the next contraction," the doctor said. Jade squeezed Arthur's hand. "I can't." "You can," Arthur said, tears welling in his eyes. "I know how strong you are." The first baby, a boy, was born at 9:42. When his little cry filled the room, tears flowed from Jade's eyes. "He's here," Dr. Mitchell said, smiling. "A healthy baby boy." When Arthur saw the baby, he froze. He was so small and fragile. And those black hairs, those little fists. "This is my son," he whispered. 10 minutes later, the second baby, a girl, was born. She was healthy too and crying. "Here's your daughter," said Dr. Mitchell. When Jade saw her 2 babies for the first time, she felt like the happiest mother in the world. But at the same time, her heart was breaking. She was supposed to leave these babies. "Can I hold them?" she asked. "Of course," the nurse replied, placing both babies in Jade's arms after cleaning them. Jade looked at her son. He was tiny but looked just like Arthur. They had the same nose shape and strong jawline. When she looked at her daughter, her breath caught. The baby looked like her. They had the same eye shape and lip line. "They're perfect," Arthur said, looking at the babies. His voice was shaky and emotional. "Yes," Jade said. "They're so beautiful." Arthur slowly approached. "Can I hold them too?" Jade handed him their son. Arthur didn't know how to hold a baby, but he was very careful. When he took his son in his arms, his face completely changed. His eyes filled with tears and his lips trembled. "Hello, son," he whispered. "I'm your father." The baby looked at Arthur and stopped crying. It was as if he understood that this was his father. "He recognizes you," Jade said, smiling. "How does he recognize you?" "He grew up hearing your voice. He knows your voice." Arthur held the baby tighter. "This is incredible. It's indescribable." Then, he held their daughter too. The baby girl looked at him too, making an expression that resembled a smile. "They're both so beautiful," he said. "Thank you, Jade." "Why are you thanking me?" "For giving them to me. For making me a father." This comment broke Jade's heart. She remembered. She had given these children to him. Now, they were Arthur's children. In the following days at the hospital, Arthur was constantly with the babies. He watched them, talked to them, changed their diapers, and fed them. "I've never seen you this happy," Rebecca said one day. "I've never felt like this either," Arthur replied. "These children have changed everything." Jade too. She changed too. Arthur looked at Jade. She looked very peaceful while nursing the babies, but there was also sadness in her eyes. "Rebecca," Arthur said in a low voice, "I'm thinking about the agreement." "What are you thinking?" "This isn't just business anymore. This is a family." Rebecca smiled. "You finally realized it." "What do you mean?" "Arthur, you're in love with Jade. And she's in love with you. It's obvious." Arthur's face changed. "It's complicated." "Why is it complicated? You both love each other. You have children together. What more do you need? There's an agreement." "Forget the agreement. You deserve to be happy." This conversation made Arthur think a lot. Indeed, his feelings for Jade weren't just gratitude. There was something deeper. On the 3rd day at the hospital, the doctors discharged Jade and the babies. On the way home, Jade had mixed emotions. Was this house now her home, or was she merely a guest? The nursery was ready at home. There were 2 cribs and 2 wardrobes and everything they needed. Arthur hadn't missed a detail. "It turned out very nicely," Jade said. "Do you like it?" "Very much. The children will love it here." During the first few weeks, everyone tried to adapt to the babies. There were night feedings, diaper changes, and sleep schedules. Arthur was a surprisingly good father. "He's naturally talented," Rebecca said one day while watching Arthur put their daughter to sleep. "I'm surprised too," Arthur replied. "I've never experienced anything like this, but it feels very natural." Jade was happy watching Arthur. He really was a good father. The children were very calm with him. But in the back of Jade's mind, the same question always lingered: when would she leave? According to the agreement, she was supposed to leave after the baby was born. However, no one was talking about it. 2 weeks later, Arthur brought up the subject. "Jade, there's something we need to talk about." Jade's heart raced. "Yes. About the agreement." "What about it?" Arthur hesitated. "According to the agreement, you need to leave." Silence fell. Jade knew this moment would come, but she wasn't prepared for it. "I know," she said quietly. "What do you want?" "What do you want?" she replied. Arthur didn't answer for a long time. There was a war inside him. "I don't know," he finally said. "Everything is confusing." That night, Jade stayed awake. She went to the babies and watched them. They were so beautiful and innocent. How could she leave them? "They're my children too." I carried them for 9 months and gave birth to them. But the agreement was clear. Arthur was also undecided. A week later, he made his decision. He told Jade to pack her suitcase. "You're leaving tomorrow," he said coldly. Jade's heart broke. Okay. That night, she packed her things. She didn't have much anyway, just a suitcase and a few personal items. When morning came, Arthur was waiting for her in the living room. He held the agreement in his hand. "Jade, this is the end," he said. "According to the agreement, we're parting ways." Jade nodded. She was trying not to cry. "The money transfer will be made tomorrow," Arthur said. "Okay." Arthur looked at the agreement. Then, unexpectedly, he started tearing up the papers. "What are you doing?" Jade asked in surprise. "This is nonsense," he said, shredding the papers. "This agreement is nonsense." "Arthur." "No, Jade. You can't leave." "Why can't I leave?" Arthur turned to her. His eyes were filled with tears. "Because I need you. Even before the twins, something in me changed because of you." Jade's heart raced. "What changed?" "You taught me how to live. You showed me that emotions are beautiful." "Arthur, will you stay? Please." Jade hesitated. "It's hard for me to trust you." "Why?" "Because you like control. What if you change your mind? What if you regret it later?" Arthur came over and took her hands. "I won't regret it. I love you, Jade." These words shook Jade's world. "What did you say?" "I love you. I love the twins too. We're all a family." Jade's eyes filled with tears. "I love you too, Arthur. But I'm scared." "Why are you scared?" "Because I'm not used to being happy. What if this is a dream?" Arthur hugged her. "It's not a dream. This is real. Our reality. Can I really stay?" "Not only stay. Will you marry me?" Jade was shocked by this question. "Get married?" "Yes, let's be a real family. You, me, and the twins." Jade started crying. These were tears of happiness. "Yes," she said. "Yes, I want to get married." Arthur hugged her tighter. "Then we're a family now." Rebecca had been watching this scene from the doorway. Her eyes filled with tears. "Finally," she whispered to herself. That day, the twins' names were chosen as well. The boy would be named Alexander Wilson, and the girl would be named Emma Wilson. "The Wilson surname will suit you too," Arthur told Jade. "Jade Wilson," she said, trying it out. "Sounds nice." At dinner, the three of them sat at the table. The twins were sleeping in their cribs. "How did this story start?" Rebecca asked, smiling. "With an agreement," Arthur replied. "And how does it end?" Rebecca asked. "With love," Jade said happily. Arthur put his hand on Jade's. "And with a family." That night, Jade slept next to Arthur. No longer in the guest room, but in the same bed and room. "Arthur," she said in the darkness. "Yes." "Thank you. I should thank you. You taught me how to live." "How?" "Before you came, I was just existing. Now, I'm really living." "Me too. You gave me a family." Arthur hugged her. "And this is just the beginning." When the twins cried in the morning, they both got up together. Arthur took Alexander and Jade took Emma. "We'll be good parents," Jade said. "The best," Arthur said, smiling. There was no disagreement now. Only love, family, and the future mattered. The Wilson family started their new life like this, with unexpected love, twins, and endless hope. Which moment in your life does this story remind you of? Has there ever been a time when life unexpectedly offered you a new beginning? Write about the feelings it awakened in you in the comments. 3 months after the twins were born, Arthur and Jade began preparing for their wedding. Arthur didn't want a big, showy wedding. Instead, he preferred a simple but meaningful ceremony. Jade felt the same way. What mattered to them were the vows they would make, not the ceremony. "Let's have a small ceremony in the garden," Arthur said one evening at dinner. "Only the really important people." "That's a great idea," Rebecca said excitedly. "The garden will look beautiful. The flowers are in perfect bloom." Jade smiled while nursing Alexander. "Perfect for me too. Big crowds make me nervous." "Then it's decided," Arthur said. 2 weeks from now, on Saturday. Preparations began quickly. Rebecca took charge of the organization and meticulously planned every detail. The garden was arranged and decorated with white flowers. A small altar was set up and chairs were arranged for guests. "How many people will there be?" Jade asked. "Close colleagues from Wilson Financial, Dr. Mitchell, Elena, and other house staff. Also, your old music school friends." Arthur paused while counting. "Do you want to invite anyone else?" Jade's face saddened. "I don't have family, you know. I lost my close friends after the scandal, too." Arthur took her hand. "Then we'll be your family. Rebecca, me, the twins. We're all your family." These words deeply moved Jade. She really did have a family now. The week before the wedding, Arthur made an unexpected decision. He handed Jade a large ring box from his jewelry collection. "What's this?" Jade asked. "Open it and see," he replied. When she opened the box, her breath caught. Inside was a magnificent diamond ring with small sapphire stones next to the diamond. "Arthur, this is beautiful, but it looks expensive." Arthur smiled. "Jade, I'm a billionaire. Nothing is expensive to me. But this wasn't necessary. It was necessary for me. You're necessary. Like diamonds, you're rare and precious." Jade's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you. It's very beautiful." Arthur slipped the ring onto her finger. "It fits perfectly." That evening, Jade looked at the ring and reflected. A year ago, she was playing music on the street. Now, she was preparing to marry a billionaire. How variable life was. But this isn't just about money, she thought. I really love Arthur. He loves me too. And we have our children. Their wedding day was a beautiful spring day in Los Angeles. The sun was shining and a light breeze was blowing. The garden looked perfect with white flowers and pink roses. A small altar was set up among the greenery. Jade had chosen a simple yet elegant white dress. It suited her post-pregnancy body and was simple yet very chic. She had put her hair up and applied minimal makeup. "You look beautiful," Rebecca said, adjusting Jade's hair one last time. "Thank you. I'm excited." "That's natural. I've never seen Arthur this happy either." "Really?" "Yes, last night I saw him walking in the garden. He was smiling to himself." This deeply moved Jade. Arthur's happiness was the most important thing for her. Guests began arriving at 4 o'clock. There were senior executives from Wilson Financial, Dr. Mitchell, Elena, and other house staff, as well as a few of Jade's former colleagues. "Oh, Jade," called Sarah, her old friend from music school. "I can't believe it. This story is like something out of a fairy tale." "I really feel that way," Jade said, smiling. "And the twins. Can I see them?" "Of course. Rebecca is looking after them." The twins, Alexander and Emma, were sleeping in special cribs. They were 3 months old and looked so sweet. "They're so beautiful," Sarah said. "They look so much like Arthur." "Yes, especially Alexander. Emma looks a bit more like me." At 5 o'clock, the ceremony began. Arthur wore a dark blue suit and looked handsome. He waited for Jade at the garden entrance. When the music started, Pachelbel's canon, chosen by Jade, Jade slowly walked toward the altar. The expression on Arthur's face was priceless. His eyes were filled with tears, and he smiled sincerely. Judge Davis, Arthur's close friend, officiated the ceremony. "Dear friends," Judge Davis began, "today we have gathered to celebrate the union of Arthur Wilson and Jade Evans. This is not just the marriage of two people, but also the formal establishment of a family." Arthur and Jade looked at each other. Both had tears in their eyes. "Arthur, would you like to say your vows?" Arthur took a deep breath. "Jade, before you came into my life, I was merely existing, not truly living. You taught me the meaning of love, family, and happiness. You gave me the most precious gifts, Alexander and Emma. I promise you that until the end of my life, I will protect you and them, all of us. I will love you forever." Jade started crying. These words came straight from Arthur's heart. "Jade, what about your vows?" "Arthur," Jade said in a trembling voice, "when I first saw you, I never could have imagined that something like this would happen. You taught me to trust and to love. You taught me what it means to be a family. You and our children are my greatest treasure. I promise you that I will always be by your side. I will love you and our children forever. You may exchange rings. Arthur placed a second ring next to the engagement ring on Jade's finger, a thin, elegant wedding band adorned with diamonds. Jade put the gold wedding band on Arthur's finger. Arthur's hand was trembling. By the laws of the state of California, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Arthur, you may kiss your bride. Arthur gently kissed Jade. The guests applauded, and the twins, as if understanding the moment, woke up and started crying. Perfect timing, Rebecca said, laughing as she brought the babies over. Arthur took Alexander and Jade took Emma. The photographer captured this moment for eternity. The newlyweds with their babies, happy. Dinner was served at a long table set up in the garden. Elena had prepared a wonderful menu of Jade's favorite dishes and Arthur's preferred wines. I'd like to make a toast, Rebecca said, standing up. Arthur, you're not just my brother, you're my hero, too. When we lost our parents, you protected me and raised me. Seeing you this happy now makes me happy too. Jade, you've brought light into Arthur's life. The twins are perfect. I wish you a long and happy marriage. Everyone applauded. Arthur stood up. I want to say something too, he said. A year ago, I was just someone who did business and made money. I had closed off my emotions and didn't trust anyone. But when Jade came into my life, everything changed. She showed me what real life is. Rebecca, you were always there for me, and I'm grateful for that. Jade, I would do anything for you and our children. I will protect this family forever. As the night progressed, guests left one by one. As he was leaving, Dr. Mitchell said, "It's wonderful to see you both so happy. The twins are so lucky to have parents who love them so much." Elena hugged Jade and cried, "Senora Jade, you are such a good mother. Mr. Arthur has changed so much too. The house feels like a real home now." At midnight, after everyone had left, Arthur, Jade, and Rebecca sat in the living room. The twins had finally fallen asleep. "It was a perfect day," Jade said. "Yes, everything was wonderful," Arthur replied. "But the most important part starts now." "What do you mean?" "Real marriage. Being together every day, dealing with problems together, and raising children together." "Is that scary?" Jade asked. "No," Arthur replied, smiling. "It's exciting." In the following days, Arthur and Jade began adapting to their new routine. They were no longer just living together. They were a married couple, a real family. The first challenge was the night feedings. The twins rarely slept at the same time. "Alexander is asleep. Now it's Emma's turn," Jade said at midnight one night. "Let me take her," said Arthur, still half asleep. "Are you sure? You have an early meeting tomorrow." "I don't care. It's my responsibility to." Arthur took Emma and began feeding her formula. He was clumsy, but he was very loving. "You're learning slowly," Jade said, smiling. "Yes, but you're much better." "I learned too." "You will too." Arthur spent time with the twins in the mornings before going to work. He sang and talked to them. "Good morning, son," he would say to Alexander. "It's going to be a beautiful day." "Good morning, princess," he would say to Emma. "Daddy loves you very much." Jade's heart filled with joy as she watched these scenes. Arthur had become a wonderful father. Changes were also noticed at Arthur's workplace. "Arthur, you've changed," said Human Resources Director Jennifer one day. "What do you mean?" "You seem calmer, happier, more human." Arthur laughed. "I became a married man. I'm a father. It suits you very well." Arthur now kept meetings at the company short and tried to go home early. "My family is waiting for me," he would say. The word "my family" sounded so good coming from him. In the evenings, the three of them ate dinner together and spent time with the twins. Arthur had started learning to play the piano. "I want to teach the children," he told Jade. "That's a great idea. They'll love music. You can teach them too. You're a professional music teacher." "Yes, I still dream of opening my own music school." Arthur looked at her. "Why don't you open one?" "I need to save money." "Jade, I'm your husband. My money is your money. You can open as big a school as you want." "That's your money, Arthur." "No, it's our money. We're married partners." This conversation made Jade think a lot. Could she really open a music school? When the twins were 4 months old, they became much more active. They started smiling and responding to sounds. "Mama!" Alexander said one day. Jade screamed. "Arthur! Arthur, come! Alexander can talk." Arthur came running. "What did he say?" "He said Mama." "Really?" Arthur looked at Alexander. "Son, say it again." "Mama," Alexander said again. Arthur's eyes filled with tears. "This is wonderful." His first word. A few days later, Emma started talking too. "Dada. Is he calling me?" Arthur said in surprise. "Yes, she's calling you." Arthur took Emma in his arms. "Yes, princess, I'm your daddy." These moments were priceless to Arthur. He formed a stronger bond with his children every day. Jade also began realizing her dreams. With Arthur's support, she started researching the music school project. "I want to provide free music education to children from low-income families," she told Arthur. "Great idea. Where will you open it?" "I found a suitable place downtown. The rent is reasonable too." "Don't rent it, buy it. Buying is expensive." "Jade, this is your dream. You deserve the best." With Arthur's support, Jade began establishing the Evans Music Academy. It was very meaningful to her, her own surname and her passion for music coming together. "Why not Wilson Music Academy?" Arthur asked. "Because this is my dream and it comes from my past. But you're a partner too. I just want to be a financial supporter. This is your project." On the school's opening day, Arthur, Rebecca, and the twins came too. While Jade was teaching her first lesson, Arthur watched her. "This woman is incredible," he thought. She had turned her own trauma into something positive. The children loved Jade very much. Her patience and love impressed everyone. "The teacher plays the piano so beautifully," a little girl said. "I want to play like that too," said a boy. Jade's eyes sparkled. This was exactly what she wanted. On the way home, Arthur said to her, "I'm proud of you." "Thank you. This was very important to me." "I know. You're realizing your dreams." "Our dreams. This is a family project." One Saturday, when the twins were 6 months old, they were all spending time together in the garden. Arthur and Jade sat on a blanket and watched Alexander and Emma play. The children had just started crawling and were trying to explore the garden. "This is like a dream," Arthur said. "What is?" "Such a peaceful Saturday. Being together as a family." Jade took his hand. "I was thinking the same thing. Jade, I want to tell you something." "Yes." Arthur turned to her. There was deep love in his eyes. "I've never been this happy before." These words filled Jade's heart. "Really?" "Yes, you, the children, this life. This is perfect." Just then, Alexander shouted, "Dada!" and started crawling toward Arthur. Emma said, "Mama," and crawled toward Jade. They both took their children in their arms. "Look, they're happy too," Jade said. "Yes, they feel our happiness." That evening, before bed, Arthur and Jade were lying in bed talking. "Who could have predicted a year ago?" Jade said. "What? That we would have a life like this? You, me, the twins." "I never could have predicted it," Arthur said. "But now, I can't imagine any other kind of life." "Me neither. It's more beautiful than I ever dreamed." "What do you think about the future?" "I'm hopeful. The children are growing up, and there's so much to teach them. My music school will expand. I'll learn to manage the company with less stress, too. I'll spend more time with you." "That's nice." Arthur hugged her. "I love you, Jade Wilson." "I love you too, Arthur Wilson." The next morning was Sunday. Arthur got up early and prepared breakfast: pancakes, fruit, and coffee. "What a nice surprise," Jade said when she came into the kitchen. "I wanted to start a Sunday breakfast tradition." "Great idea." The twins were sitting in kitchen chairs eating banana pieces. "Family breakfast," Arthur said, smiling. "Is there anything better than this?" "No," Jade said. "This is perfect." After breakfast, they went out to the garden. The twins played on the grass while Arthur and Jade watched them. "We'll make so many happy memories in this house," Jade said. "Yes, the children will grow up here," Bring friends, and we'll celebrate birthdays. I'll teach them music. I'll teach them about the business world too. But without pressure. We'll support them in whatever they want. Absolutely. Just then, Alexander tried to stand up. He stood for a few seconds, then took a few steps toward Emma. Arthur, look. He's walking, Jade shouted. Arthur got up. I can't believe it. Alexander is walking. Emma tried to imitate her brother by standing up too. She took a few wobbly steps too. They're both walking, Arthur said excitedly. Jade started crying. They're growing so fast. Yes, but that's beautiful. They're developing and learning. Arthur crouched down next to the children. Come on, son. Walk to me. Alexander heard his father's voice and started walking toward him, smiling. Bravo, Arthur said, scooping him up. Very good. Emma walked toward Jade, who hugged her. Our little walkers, Jade said. That evening, after putting the twins to bed, Arthur and Jade sat on the terrace. It was a wonderful day, Arthur said. Yes, we saw their first steps. There will be many more moments like this. First words, first day of school, first concert. First boyfriend, Arthur joked. That's still early for that topic, Jade said, laughing. They're growing so fast. Jade took Arthur's hand. But we're growing with them, too. What do you mean? We're learning to be parents. We're learning to be a family. Arthur looked at her. She looked so beautiful in the moonlight. You're a wonderful mother. You're a wonderful father, too. Together, we're becoming a wonderful family. Yes, Jade said, smiling. A wonderful family. That night, before going to bed, Arthur went into the nursery and watched the sleeping twins. They looked so peaceful. These children are my greatest achievement, he thought. They and Jade. This family is the meaning of my life. Jade came and stood beside him. What are you thinking? She asked. How much I love them. How much I love you. We love you very much too. Arthur hugged her. How did this story start? With an agreement. And how did it end? With endless love. And endless hope, Arthur added. As they left the room, Arthur turned off the light. The children slept peacefully. Tomorrow would be a new day. The Wilson family was writing their own story, a story filled with love, hope, family, and endless happiness. And this was just the beginning. The twins, Alexander and Emma, had grown into energetic 5-year-olds. Alexander had inherited his father's determination and business acumen, while Emma had inherited her mother's musical talent and gentle nature. Mom, can I play the piano now? Emma asked every morning. After breakfast, sweetheart, Jade would always reply. The Evans Music Academy had grown significantly. Jade now had 3 locations across Los Angeles and a team of 20 music teachers. The academy had gained recognition for its innovative programs that provide underprivileged children with access to quality music education. You've built something amazing, Arthur told Jade one evening as they reviewed the academy's annual report. We built it together, Jade corrected. Your support made all of this possible. Arthur had also changed his business approach. Wilson Financial shifted its focus towards sustainable investments and social impact projects. The company was still thriving financially, but it was also contributing to community development. Dad, why do you go to work every day? Alexander asked one morning. To help families like ours have better lives, Arthur explained. And to make sure you and Emma can follow your dreams. Emma's first piano recital was scheduled for Friday evening at the academy. She had been practicing for weeks, her little fingers working through variations of Mozart's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I'm nervous, Mom, Emma confided on the morning of the recital. That's normal, sweetheart. Even professional musicians get nervous. But you know what helps. What? Remember that everyone there loves you and wants you to succeed. That evening, the small recital hall was packed. Arthur sat in the front row with his phone ready to record every moment. Rebecca had flown in from New York, where she now ran the East Coast branch of Wilson Financial. When Emma walked onto the stage in her white dress, Arthur's eyes filled with tears. She looked so much like Jade did the day Arthur first heard her play in the park. Emma's performance was flawless. Her small hands moved gracefully across the keys, and she was completely focused. When she finished, the audience erupted in applause. "That's my daughter," Arthur called out, forgetting his usual composed demeanor. Jade squeezed his hand. "She's incredible." "She gets it from you," Arthur said. After the performance, Emma ran to her parents. "Did I do well?" she asked breathlessly. "You were perfect," Jade said, kneeling down to hug her. "Better than perfect," Arthur added. "You were magical." While Emma showed musical talent, Alexander displayed an early aptitude for problem-solving and leadership. By the age of 5, he had already organized his kindergarten class into efficient teams for various projects. "Alex started a trading system at school," Jade told Arthur one day. "He's trading juice boxes for cookies, and somehow everyone thinks they're getting a good deal." Arthur laughed. "Should I be worried or proud?" "Definitely proud. But maybe we should teach him about fair trade." One Saturday, Arthur decided to bring Alexander to the office. "This is where Daddy works," Arthur explained as they toured the Wilson Financial headquarters. "It's very big," Alexander observed. "Do you own all of this?" "I do. And someday, if you want, you might help run it." "What if I want to do something else?" Arthur knelt down to his son's level. "Then you'll do something else. Your mom and I will support whatever makes you happy." Over the years, the Wilson family had developed several beloved traditions. Sunday morning pancake breakfasts remained sacred, with everyone helping in the kitchen. Arthur had become surprisingly good at flipping pancakes, though Emma was still the family champion. Holiday celebrations were elaborate affairs. For the twins' 5th birthday, they threw a joint party in their garden. Emma wanted a piano-themed party, and Alexander wanted a business-themed party. They compromised on a dreams-come-true party where children could try different activities. "Look at them," Rebecca said, watching the twins coordinate games with their friends. "They're natural leaders, both of them." "They get that from both parents," Jade replied. "Arthur's determination and my creativity." Not everything had been smooth sailing, though. When the twins were 3, Jade experienced a brief bout of postpartum anxiety that she initially tried to hide. "I kept thinking I wasn't good enough," she confided to Arthur during a therapy session they attended together. "That you'd realize you made a mistake." "Jade, you're the best thing that ever happened to me," Arthur said. "We're in this together, through everything." With professional help and Arthur's unwavering support, Jade worked through her concerns. The experience made their marriage stronger. Arthur also faced challenges when his business expanded internationally. The stress of managing global operations initially pulled him back toward his old workaholic habit. One evening, when he missed Emma's school play, Jade gently confronted him. "You're disappearing again." This led Arthur to hire a COO to handle day-to-day operations, allowing him to focus on strategy and maintain a work-life balance. On their 5th wedding anniversary, Arthur and Jade sat on their terrace after the twins had gone to bed. The garden was lit by soft string lights, and they could hear the gentle splash of the pool fountain. "Do you ever think about what would have happened if we'd stuck to the original agreement?" Jade asked. Arthur was quiet for a moment. "Sometimes. But I can't imagine a life without you and the kids." "Even with all the chaos? The sleepless nights, the tantrums, the constant noise?" Arthur smiled. "Especially because of all that. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it ours." Emma's piano music drifted from upstairs. She often played softly to help her fall asleep. "She's getting so good," Arthur noted. "She wants to perform at Carnegie Hall someday." "She will. And we'll be in the front row." Alexander appeared in the doorway, rubbing his eyes. "I had a bad dream." "Come here, buddy," Arthur said, lifting Alexander onto his lap. "What was the dream about?" Jade asked gently. "Everyone left and went away, and they left me alone." Arthur hugged him tighter. "That will never happen. Mom and I will always be here. That's a promise." "What about when you're old?" "Even when we're old," Jade said. "Love doesn't go away, Alexander. It stays in your heart forever." As they tucked Alexander back into bed, Arthur reflected on how much their lives had changed. It felt like a miracle going from a cold business arrangement to a warm, loving family. Later that night, as they prepared for bed, Jade made an announcement. "I have something to tell you," she said with a mysterious smile. Arthur looked up from his book. "What is it?" "I went to the doctor today." Arthur's expression became concerned. "Are you okay?" Jade's smile widened. "I'm pregnant." Arthur stared at her for a moment, then broke into the biggest grin she had ever seen. "Really? Another baby? Another baby?" He swept her into his arms and spun her around. "This is incredible. How far along are you?" 8 weeks. I wanted to be sure before I told you. The twins will be so excited to be big brother and sister. Are you happy? Jade asked, suddenly uncertain. Happy? Jade, I'm beyond happy. Our family is growing. They held each other in the quiet of their bedroom, both thinking about the journey that had brought them there. They had gone from being strangers bound by contract to husband and wife, and now they were expecting their third child. Life had a beautiful way of surprising them. What do you think it'll be? Arthur asked. All that matters to me is that it's healthy. Healthy, Arthur agreed. And loved. So loved. As they fell asleep that night, Arthur and Jade both felt the deep contentment that comes from a life well lived and love well given. Their story began with an agreement, but now it was being written in the laughter of children, the warmth of family dinners, and the quiet moments of connection that make a house a home. The Wilson family's story was far from over. In fact, with each passing day and each small triumph or gentle challenge, they discovered that the best chapters were still to come. Outside their window, Los Angeles sparkled in the distance, the same city where a homeless musician once played in a park and caught the attention of a lonely businessman. Now, a small plaque in that park dedicated a music education fund in honor of second chances and unexpected love. The future stretched ahead of them, full of possibility and promise. They would face it together as they always had, with love, hope, and an unshakable family bond.